Leather has a timeless appeal, and it's used in jewelry in so many different ways. Today I have for you a super simple lariat necklace that is perfect for using up those odds and ends of beads you've had lying around. Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another jewelry making video at keepsakecrafts.net. So the folks at Endless Leather contacted me again and asked if I'd like to do another video for them using some of their leathers. I did a video 2 years ago using their stingray leather to make a bracelet for guys, and they've got such an interesting array that of course I said yes and started looking at my jewelry inspiration for what I could do. I wanted to do something different and unusual. Lots of things have been done. And what I'm doing today is making a lariat. It's so easy. All you need is 1.5 yards of leather. What I have here is, it's 5 by 2 millimeter leather. It's barberry, that's the color, with a black edge, which I think finishes it off really nicely. Now when you get your leather, it's going to be a little bit stiff. So you want to take the time to just kind of work it. The best way is to fold it and pinch it and roll it, and do that from both directions. I tried wetting this and I didn't find that it softened it up. It was softer while it was wet, but I didn't find that it really softened it up much afterwards. If you have suggestions, I even tried, I know this is going to sound crazy, you guys know I'm a polymer clayer and I use a pasta machine. I even tried running it through the pasta machine. I thought that might save my hands some work. But you just have to soften it up a bit to make it wearable. And it's really easy because all you do is fold it in half and loop the two ends through to wear it. And you can pull it up. And once it's softened, it'll kind of grab, and you can pull it to basically any length you want. 1.5 yards works for me. If you're shorter and you like your necklaces not to be quite so long, you'll just have to test it out. Just fold it in half, put it on, and consider the length of your dangles and test it out. One of the things I like about Endless Leather's stuff is that they don't just have a really cool array of leathers, they also have great findings to go with them. And this is what I think elevates this necklace and just makes it kind of special looking. These little end caps, and they are silver, and they have an inside diameter of 5 by 2 millimeters, so they are perfect for this kind of leather. And what you would do is mix up some 2-part epoxy. I suggest something that takes longer. This is 90-minute rather than your 5-minute epoxy, which doesn't give you a lot of time for cleanup. So mix up something that takes a little bit longer. Just on a scrap of paper, you mix up equal parts of each one, and of course these end caps are very small, so you don't need much. And then just get a toothpick and fill it maybe halfway, maybe a little bit less. But you want your findings to be secure, and then you'll push those in there. And what I like about having the extra time is that you can then take an alcohol wipe and really clean up any mess very thoroughly before it dries, where the 5-minute epoxy might not give you time to do that. And that's all there is to finishing the ends of the leather. Of course, you want to be absolutely certain that you have it the length you want before you glue these in, because once they're glued in and they're dry, it would be very, very difficult to recover your findings. You'd just have to cut it shorter and buy new ones. So with the leather chosen and finished nicely, it's time to decide what you want to do for dangles. I went for a bit of a contrast here. This is a really cool pendant I got from Dollar Bead Box. Before I made this video, I intended to go in and actually color this a little bit more with vintage patinas. You saw me do this. I turned it from the silver to having this little bit of color with vintage patinas. I kind of wanted to do more, but I forgot. So what I've done is I just kind of pulled out a bunch of pink beads, and a lot of these are kind of one-off things. Like there's this, which I've always liked. This came in a recent Dollar Bead Box, and I've always kind of liked it, but never knew what to do with it because I only had one. It's a 19 millimeter Swarovski wave bead, crystal astral. So I love the little bit of orange it introduces, but it's got that same hot pink that's in the leather. And I just started playing. I experimented with using this, but I don't think I will. And I had a couple of heart beads. Now I like this one because it matches that bead, but I sort of like the long pointy shape of this one better. So I'm still debating on which one to use. You could also, maybe a smaller charm, you could dangle something in front of here. Once you have your layout settled, all you need to do is gather up some eye pins and start stringing things on. Now this here is a pretty long length of beads, and I don't want to string them all on one eye pin. It would just it wouldn't dangle nicely. So what I'm going to do is use 2 head pins, eye pins. Now this has a really big hole, which would be good if you were going to string leather onto it. The big hole beads are nice, but as it is, you could see it's not going to sit centered on the head pin, eye pin. So what I'm going to do is string some of these these are 8/0 beads. These are just like the spacers you find when you buy strands of beads. They put them on this strand that the beads come on as fillers. You'll often find them at the craft store being used as fillers. So I'm just going to put in a few, and that will fill out the center of that bead and keep it from flopping around. And you can use brown nose pliers and wire cutters, but you know me, I love my one-step looper. So I'm just going to use that to make, okay, make that into a dangle. Alright, I have to be careful about that one. And that, I have to put another bead on there. Maybe these little 4mm check glass machine cuts. They're like they're bicones. They're fuchsia. Maybe I'll throw one of those on. So again, just string them on. This guy has a big hole, but it's not too big like these. Add some filler beads. So I hope that you guys enjoy my videos. So many of you have told me that you've learned a lot and been inspired and really enjoy them, and that just makes me thrilled to pieces because I love teaching. I love coming up with interesting ideas, but I don't want to make things to sell. I love making one of these necklaces, but I wouldn't want to make a dozen or 50 or something to sell. That just utterly does not appeal to me. I'd much rather make something a little bit more interesting and maybe more complex and then teach it to others rather than having to simplify things so that I could make them for production. If you want more, I make bonus tutorials for my patrons every month. The folks who support me for $5 or more a month get 1 bonus tutorial every month, and those who support me for $10 or more a month get 2. So just something to think about if you'd like to get more creative inspiration every month. There's that option. Let's see. I don't know if this bicone's going to be big enough to keep that from falling off. No, it's not. This is the bottom bead in a stack, so I've got to put something bigger. So let's see what I've got. Maybe one of these pearls. Oh, that's cute. Okay. So sometimes you just have to design on the fly when you have functional problems. Then you can solve those in a design type way. I think I'll save that. All right. So now we have our second dangle. Oh, goodness. Some days just go like this for you. You just cannot hold on to anything. Fumble fingers. Oh my goodness. Get on there. I'm going to keep this in rather than edit it out just to keep it real and show you that yeah, the video might be, I don't know how long this video is going to be, 15-20 minutes. It will probably take you a little bit longer than that to do things because, oh, what did I just do? I just took, oh goodness. Oh, all right. See? It doesn't go perfect. So I had to get another eye pin, which, by the way, I made from a bag full of head pins. I didn't have any eye pins that were sturdy enough. All the ones I had, for some reason, are kind of a small gauge of wire. So I have head pins, and I'll just use my one-step looper and turn them into eye pins. Maybe that's why I keep calling them head pins. So that's a trick for you. Okay, one more time. put that on. Very good. Now's my little pearl. Make sure it stays there. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Push that down tight, and now we'll make our loop. Do be careful when you're using this tool. If you've got a crystal there and you've got it really close, when you squeeze it to bring it in, I have had crystals crack. So be careful about that. Okay, so there's that dangle. Oh, that's going to be cute. And since this one wants to slide off, I'm going to open just this one to pop it on. And I think what's going to happen is that silver bead's going to kind of plop right onto his head. Oh, actually some of those show. I'm not sure if I like that. I may do another one, actually, and put one of those Swarovskis in there. So yeah, designing on the fly, because those big hole beads, while they are handy for some things, you can see they also have their drawbacks. Okay, so here's taking a head pin, turning it into an eye pin, cut that whole thing off, and try again. Maybe just to balance out the bottom, I'll put that in on the top. And then my pearl. And a bunch of filler. Oh, nope. Let's see, one of these. There we go. That was my plan. Because when that barrel bead drops down, I don't really want any of these clear beads showing. Alright. And one more time, open this one. And make sure to keep this facing the right way so things don't fall off. Let gravity be your friend, not your enemy. Okay, there. Oh, I like that. That's kind of interesting, the way the beads come out of the top there. I like that. Okay, with that. So then the last thing on this side is the little heart, which I'm still not sure about, so I'm going to move on to this side. And I did test this a little bit earlier and discovered something about this shape. Because of the way it's drilled, if I put a hole there, you've got this awkward space in here. So that I'm going to fill with a couple more of these little bicones. I keep wanting to call them Swarovski, but they're not. They're check glass. They came in a dollar bead box. There, now see, that gives you a nicer clearance. I'll link to as many of the products as I can find links to at my blog post. If you're ever watching one of my videos and wondering where I got this or that, I always have a blog post linked up here in the upper right, and in the description box, and also in the lower left. In the last 20 seconds of the video, a little link pops up. I'm still thinking I might go over this pendant with some other colors of vintage patinas, just to bring in a little bit more of this pink color. This was one of the more subtle effects. I'll link to that video. That will also be in the, I gotta open that wider, huh? That will also be in the cards, they're called, up here in the upper right. I think I might need to make a bigger loop. We'll see if this doesn't dangle nicely. How many head pins have I gone through to do this? I'm doing all of this testing so you don't have to. Okay, I'm gonna go get my bigger looper. Okay, make another eye pin. And this one makes a 3mm loop. This one makes a 1.5mm loop. There's also another one of these tools that makes a 2.5mm loop. But I only use this one rarely. 99% of the time I use this one. So I haven't really found a need for the middle size one. And of course, you don't have to have the looper. It's just a nice... Watch out for my crystal. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it would be cute to have a like a little dangle. You know, not this big, but maybe something else. If I had a little silver owl or bug or something. And now the final decision is which heart. What do you think? I wish I had one of these. This is the Swarovski shape called Wild Heart. I wish I had one of these in this astral pink color. That would be perfect. I think I'm going to go with this because I think the color, where this is the only one thing in here of this color. So here I've just added a 6mm jump ring, and I'm going to turn that so that the split is on the inside. So we'll just open that. Pop on the jump ring. So by separating this into 3 pieces, it's much more dangly. It just hangs more freely, and I think it looks nicer. And to add these, of course, you want to glue your findings in first, but I'm going to do that later. I still want to do some softening of my leather. So there it is, all done. What's fun about this is that you can wear it any way you want. You can position these however you want in relation to each other as far as lengthwise. You can wear the necklace longer or shorter. Right now it seems stiff, but you just take the time to soften up your leather and you'll be able to customize it. And it's such a fun, easy thing to wear. So thanks so much for watching. Happy creating. Bye-bye.